Welcome back to the second year in a row that I read the Goodreads Choice Award winners to see if it's actually true, to see if the people actually have good taste. This year I chose to read a lot more than last year because my taste in books is expanding and branching out a little bit more. So out of all of these categories, I had already read a few of them, including the romance pick, The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, the romantasy pick, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, the audiobook pick, which is again Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, and then for the young adult fantasy sci-fi, I've never read The Hunger Games before, so I felt like maybe I wasn't gonna get the best experience if I started with Sunrise on the Reaping. So I ended up not reading that, and then I also didn't read the young adult fiction pick because I just couldn't see myself really taking a liking to the young adult fiction category. The 7 categories that I ended up reading books from were the fiction section, historical fiction, mystery thriller, fantasy, science fiction, horror, and lastly the debut novel pick. So without further ado, let us find out if the Goodreads Choice Awards, the people, actually have good taste in books. I'm starting my first book, which is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I am probably about, I want to say like 50 pages into it. I started reading a little bit last night, but I didn't get super far. And from what I know what this is about, we have our main character whose name is now Fern. Fern is pregnant and she is 15 years old. It is, I don't know what year is it. It's 1970. It's 1970 and our main character named Fern is pregnant. The father of the child did not want to be in the child's life, and so in this time period, her family essentially hates her and has sent her to a home for girls who are pregnant out of wedlock. And so our book right now is set during that time period. I'm not totally sure what's going to happen after that, but I know there's probably going to be some witchcraft, and I need to read on and figure out kind of more about what it's about because I'm very early on. So far, I'm not totally sure how I'm feeling. I'm kind of neutral, I think. I'm not hooked quite yet, but I'm also not enjoying it. So we'll just have to see as I go on what I'm kind of feeling. But this is the first book, at least that I'm reading in real time. I shall let you know how it continues to go reading this book. Okay, time for a little update on Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I'm officially 334 pages in, like 75% of the way done with this book, and I wanted to give you my thoughts. So basically, it's gone crazy. Like, it's not anywhere near what the start of this book was, and I feel like it's best if you go into it blind. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I'm liking it, but I will say I'm invested and I'm definitely spooked. It's a lot of body horror and like gore, which is good, but at the same time I'm like, there's a few parts where I had to skip forward a few paragraphs because it was so like, ugh. It made me like cringe. Like there was one part with fingernails and like I cannot do a torture scene with fingernails. That is just disgusting to me. So I had to skip that part. But essentially, trigger warning for body horror if you're not a fan of anything like that. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I should know or understand this deeper meaning. Like I can tell something, some deeper meaning. But I feel like I'm missing the large point, and maybe that'll be wrapped up in the last 25%. But I feel like I'm missing a significant chunk of what I'm supposed to be getting out of this book, and I'm not sure why. It just really didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, and I can tell something really bad's gonna happen. I'm not sure that there's gonna be like a good ending. It might be kind of open-ended. I'm not sure. I guess I'm attached to our main characters, but at the same time, I feel like I need something else for this book to be pushed over to wow. Right now, it's probably like a 3.54. I think it's a little bit long, in my opinion. I think it could have been a tad bit shorter and it would have been still good. It is infuriating. Like, it really makes me angry a lot because it's set in the, I want to say the 70s. All of our main characters are pregnant and they're in their teens. So it's obviously a home for wayward girls. So it's very infuriating to see how they're treated, and how, honestly, one thing that I really am infuriated by in this book is the medical practice. Like how a bunch of these male doctors are treating these young women who are pregnant and kind of are just wrong. Like one doctor specifically, not a huge spoiler or anything, but keeps telling this girl who's having severe morning sickness and severe nausea that it's all in her head and she just has to choose not to throw up. And that's like his actual medical advice. I don't know if this is factual to the time period of like how women were treated during pregnancy, but it's a lot of just like old wives' tales or just incorrect medical information for these young women who are trying to give birth in peace, kind of. And it's just kind of infuriating to watch them be misled, misdirected, misinformed, to be told like your severe morning sickness is essentially made up. There's a lot of things like that in this book that I just like want to scream because I'm so infuriated by how people are treating these women. And at the same time, like, it seems to me that there's no good side. There's no right or wrong side of this book because you have the witches and then you have the regular people. And it feels to me that there's no right. And that's also kind of infuriating because as a 15-year-old girl who's gotten pregnant, to be thrown into the situation in which there's no good options, there's no agency, there's nothing that they can do about it, they're quite helpless. It's also infuriating because like there's no bright side. There's no, we're gonna get through this. It's all kind of negative. And I guess, yes, that is a point, but at the same time, it like literally is infuriating, and I'm sure that's the point. There's just something missing about it that is not like, wow, I'm amazed by this book, but it is good. It's not what I expected it to be, and I'm pretty sure this was for the horror category, so I honestly expected it to be a little scarier. I will say the audiobook is lending to the scariness. I think if I was reading it physically, it would be less scary because there's a lot of sound effects, and like when some scary things are going on, there's sound effects in the audiobook that you would just be reading on the page. It wouldn't have the same effect as someone like making the sound effect at you. So I feel like it's probably good that I'm reading it on audio. However, I wish I was a little bit more scared. Like, I feel completely safe reading this at night alone in my bed, and I'm fine. Like, sometimes it's a little gross, but it's not like, ooh, I'm terrified. All this is to say, I'm not totally sure what I'm feeling about it. I think I'm gonna need to know how this ends before I can really fully pull together my concrete thoughts and opinions. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I have 25% left to go, and it's really starting to ramp up, but I honestly can't see where we're going from here. I don't know what the end is going to be like. I don't have any predictions. I'm kind of just along for the ride, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to go downstairs, walk on the treadmill, and read this. I think I could finish this today if I really, really try hard, so we'll see. We have a few things to talk about. So I look kind of crazy, but I have some updates on books, as you know, the theme of this video. So I have 2 books that I need to update you on. First things first, I need to give you my full thoughts and review of this book right here. I finished this book probably a week ago, and I just couldn't talk about it for a long time, but now I feel like I maybe can. I believe I ended up rating this book a 4 stars. That rating still stands. It was really hard to rate for me because it's unlike anything I've ever read in the sense that it is technically a horror. Going into this book, when I heard horror, I was not expecting what I got. It was mainly, as I've said, body horror. And that was fine. Like, I was actually scared of all of those things. I was scared like probably 25% of the time. There were like 3 or 4 notable moments where I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna puke. Other than that, the entire book was kind of just a historical fiction about women who got pregnant out of wedlock. And I liked both of those aspects. I think that what was missing for me, I either wanted something more out of the fantasy element or more out of the horror element, but I felt like we kind of got halfway with both, and I liked both of those things in the book. I don't think we needed to sacrifice either thing. I just think that I needed it to be either more fantastical, more of a purpose to this magic, or it just needed to be so gross that I couldn't focus on the magic. And it wasn't. Like, it was gross, but not consistently. And so that made it easier for me to read in large chunks, because every 100 pages or so we would come across something really nasty, and then you'd be like, oh my god, I'm terrified, and then it would end and you'd be fine. This book made me feel like I never want to be pregnant ever, ever, ever. So if you are pregnant right now or want to get pregnant in the near future, maybe don't read this one because it was disgusting. It was disgusting, not only with the body horror surrounding pregnancy, but also how pregnant women are sometimes treated. All of that just was like very unsettling, as it was supposed to be. But I'm just saying, if you maybe relate too heavily to those topics at the moment, steer away from this book and read it at a later point in your life. For me, as someone who's not planning on getting pregnant ever anytime soon, this was great. It made me viscerally angry at times, especially towards the men in this book. And the general lack of knowledge around women's health, like that is something you can point to in today, and it's something you could 100% point to in the 70s. They were also in the Deep South, so there was a lot of religious trauma and religious expectations that were brought up in this book. And if y'all know anything about me, I love a religious aspect in a book. I'm not religious, however, I adore exploring religious themes, religious trauma, religious cults, like anything surrounding that. I love it. So this book's set in the Deep South. I guess not in the Deep South. It was in Florida, but our main character was from Alabama, so like Deep South. I'm from North Carolina, so I'm from the South as well. But trigger warnings in this book, quite obviously it's a horror with religious trauma and young women getting pregnant. If you connect the dots there, like maybe if that's not something you're okay with reading, avoid this. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I think I was just kind of expecting it to be more horror, and it wasn't more horror. So I was like waiting for something really horrific to happen, and then every 100 pages we get like this gross scene. Fingernails? Ew. Okay. Any horror scene with fingernails, any torture scene, and any show ever, disgusting. Hate that. I feel like that's kind of all my thoughts that I have on this right now. I don't know if that was very succinct and together, but essentially I liked it, but I was waiting for another horror aspect or another like, ooh, gotcha to come up, because I felt like we didn't get enough of the horror part of it. But maybe it's because this is one of my first horror books, so I was going in expecting a little bit more and it wasn't that. But anyways, I would recommend it. I understand why it got on this list. And also, like, it maybe could have been something else for the horror genre. This book is The Compound by Aisling Rawle. It's quite short. Aisling Rawle looks a lot like the girl who wrote Powerless, to be quite honest. Anyway, sorry, I just got distracted by her photo in the back of the book. What I've heard the tagline as, Love Island meets House of the Fly or Lord of the Flies. Never read Lord of the Flies, so I don't really know anything about that, but essentially what I know is that they're in this compound, hence the name, for a reality TV show. They have actions requested by like the producers and everything. They have to do things to earn things in this compound. Like if you want a refrigerator or if you want air conditioning, you guys have to do this task. And there's like public tasks and private tasks that they have to do, and it kind of gets a little double-sided. It's kind of all I know. Maybe the world around them is like going to ruins. Not totally sure. I want to go in blind. I was gonna read the blurb, but I want to go in blind. So I'm going to start this, I think, today and maybe finish it today, depending on how my day goes. But there's only 289 pages in this book. So finishing this today would be like great. And if I'm really hooked, maybe I could. But we're gonna read The Compound, and I will get back to you with my thoughts, my feelings when I finish the book. I am reading currently The Compound by Aisling Rawle. I don't know how you pronounce it, I forget. But I'm about like 60% of the way through, and I want to go through some thoughts. I'm a little bit distant from it. Like, I like where it's going. I like kind of the plot and the vibe and the commentary on materialism and, you know, reality TV and all this stuff, but I'm a little bit distant from it. Like, I feel like maybe I'm watching the reality TV versus like I'm in this character's head. I'm not sure. I feel very distant from the book. It's not bad, but I also it could be like the book I just finished before this. I really loved it. And so I think I might be on a little bit of like a book hangover from that. I'm 60% of the way through, and it's like good, but I'm not so attached. When I'm not reading it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to pick this up kind of thing. We're gonna sit here, read some more. I think I can finish it today, hoping. So I will get back to you, but I'm kind of a little bit disappointed because this is one that I was really, really looking forward to, and I'm not sure that I love it. So I'm quite confused. I finished this book. I listened to the rest of it while I was getting ready for dinner, and I am quite lost, in fact. Actually, seeing myself in the mirror is pissing me off. Let me go close that. Initial thoughts, I might come back and tell you like more kind of succinct thoughts that I have once I've kind of thought through this. But first of all, I was quite confused. I understand the point, but also like I don't know if I enjoyed it. Like, I think I get the messages and themes, materialism, how life is more than stuff, but stuff also makes life really good, how meaningful relationships matter, and how like the criticisms of reality TV, all this stuff I think I got out of it. Did I enjoy the process of reading it? Not really. Okay, I enjoyed when I picked it up and I was in the story. I was having a good time, but I don't think I ever wanted to pick it up. Like I said earlier, I literally, when I wasn't reading it, I was like, ugh, I wish I was reading something else right now. And I don't know why, because like in my brain, I liked the story, but my feelings towards it are kind of negative. It's quite confusing. If I had to go based on instinct, I would rate this maybe 2.5 to 3. Like, I don't think it was a bad book. I get it, but also, like, I don't know that I liked it. I think I'm just repeating myself over and over. I felt quite disconnected from the story and disconnected from the characters. I think that stopped being a thing. Like, towards the end, I felt very connected to the story. Like, it definitely devolved and it was crazy and it kept my attention while I was reading it, but then I would not be reading it and I'd be like, one, A, not thinking about it, B, dreading picking it up again, and C, I think I kind of just wanted it to be over. It made me think about like reality TV and like the personalities on reality TV. In my degree, we've talked about this before in a lot of my classes, like how reality TV as a piece of media is kind of strange and obviously reality bending. Like the title is reality TV, but it actually is so far from reality that it's kind of funny and ironic. Those are my initial thoughts, but I kind of have to like pull them all together. Okay, it's time to start our next book for reading all the best books of 2025, and I've started. Yeah, we're getting into it. It is 1,014 pages at least. Yeah, about 1,020 pages. I'm on page 47. But so far, it's really good. It's very gory. It's very dark, and the necromancy, the vivomancy, all that stuff is very interesting. It's about our main character, Helena, who's essentially been woken up from stasis, like her body's been preserved. She wakes up and is quite confused. She's in this world where her side of the war has lost and the necromancers and the vivomancers have taken power. But she herself is a vivomancer that had worked for the resistance. They find out that her memories have been essentially stolen or taken away from her, and she has no idea why. And they're trying to get them back because the leader of the vivomancers and the necromancers think that Helena's memory is somehow a secret of the resistance. I'm already annotating quite a bit, if you can see there. Part 2 is like 260-ish pages into the book, and I would love to get to part 2 either today or tomorrow, ideally. Probably tomorrow, but we have a long ways to go, and I am listening and reading at the same time. I think I'm going to listen and read to at least the first 150 pages, and then once we get past part 2, I'm going to start like just listening and not only listening and reading, because I think I'll have grasped the world and everything by then. But I just wanted to make sure that for the first like 150 pages, I'm locked into just this. A whole bunch of pages for me to read when I'm supposed to be packing for my study abroad. I really haven't packed anything yet, but my goal this week is to listen to this and pack a whole bunch. I would love to have this done before I go abroad, but we have a long ways to go. The audiobook says it's like 20 hours, almost an entire day. I'm excited, but I'm also already horrified, and like it's very dark and deep, and I don't know how much of myself I can give to it right now because I'm not in a mental space to not be okay. So this might not have been the right time to pick this up, but here we are. This is our only option. We're doing it. So I am about this far through Alchemized, about 70%, right? I have some thoughts. I've been meaning to update you, but I forgot to update you a little earlier. Actually, ignore my hand. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed. I got something frozen off of my hand at the derm, and it is literally disgusting. So I'm gonna just keep my hand here, and if I start talking with it, editing Reagan blur it out because it's actually gross. Talking without this hand feels so weird. I'm just gonna cover it. This is probably one of the worst times in my life that I could have chosen to read this book because I am literally leaving for Paris in 48 hours. Emotionally, I'm already very drained. I have had a lot to do, and I'm determined to finish this book before I leave. I only have about 350 pages left, maybe a little less. So I definitely can finish it, right? The mental state that this is putting me in is probably not the best idea for, the week that I'm about to leave my family, my friends, my boyfriend, literally everyone I know in my life for months, right? So mentally, probably not the best decision I could have made. However, we're here and I'm gonna finish this book. I've been annotating quite a lot, as you can probably tell. I don't know if I would say that I am not loving this story, and not because I don't think it's good or well executed. It's just hard to love because of what happens inside of it. Like, there's a lot of triggering things that happen in this book, and that makes it hard to love because I'm reading about some of the worst atrocities that you can commit in war. Like, this is not an easy book to read, to be quite frank. And so, am I loving the story? No, because of that aspect, not because it's not good. I think this book is really good. It's great even. The enjoyment aspect of it is strange for me because normally I'm reading a book and I'm like, hee, I'm enjoying it. This is so fun. I'm not enjoying this. Does it mean that I don't like it or don't think it's worth a high rating? No. But am I enjoying my time here? No, not at all. Everyone in this book needs help. But I just am so furious with them that I don't even want to. I'm furious. Everyone in this book, I hate them. I hate them. Every single person in this book I hate, except for Kane and Helena. I'm in the middle of part 2 right now. I have about 100 pages until I get to part 3. Hoping to get through this today, at least. If not the entire book finished today. But I don't know how that's gonna work. However, other thoughts that I'm having about this book. Admittedly, I am liking this better than Manacled. Are there a lot of similar aspects? Like, I read Manacled semi-recently. I read it back in maybe August of last year, and it's now January. So I read Manacled probably sometime in the last 6 months. A lot of what is in this book is quite similar to Manacled. A lot of people are like, oh my god, it's so different. Yes, I agree. There are different things and the writing is better and there are differences, but the base, the core, even some of the same dialogue is happening in this book that happened in Manacled. So it's quite similar as one would expect. I'm liking this better, but do I like this? Do I like reading this? Do I like this story? Do I like these characters? No. But is it good? Is it gripping me? Is it connecting to me emotionally? Am I connecting to it emotionally? Am I connecting to the characters, to the story? Do I feel for these characters? Yes, all of that is true. Do I like reading this? Hell no. As of right now, I'd say it's worth it, and I see why it was nominated for, I believe it was Best Debut. I see why it was nominated. Do I love holding this book and being like, blah, 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 look at all this stuff because it's huge, and I'm like, yeah, I read that, obviously. This is gonna be the longest book I think I've ever read, so am I happy about that? Yes. And I've been absolutely flying through it, if I'm being completely honest. The first day I read it, I read 100 pages. The second day I read it, I read 500 pages, and today, so I've only been reading for 3 days. One day I read 100 pages, another day I read 500 pages, and then today I've read 250 already. I'm flying through this book. I thought that this was gonna take me a long time, and it's taking me a while, but it's not taking me as long as I thought. To be fair, I do have the audiobook, and most of the time I'm sitting here reading along with the audiobook, but sometimes if I'm in the car and I want to continue, I will continue and listen to it. But I am enjoying it as much as one can enjoy a story like this. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm hoping today to at least get to part 3, if not read into part 3 and maybe finish the book. I don't have a ton going on today. I have a lot of packing to do. Overall, pretty free for the next 48 hours. It's been hard for my mind to exit the story. I'm constantly thinking about this, thinking about when I'm gonna jump back into this story. So much so that I actually started Heated Rivalry while I was reading this because I was like, I need something fun and silly and goofy. So I had to pause reading this and read 15 pages, 20, 30. I think I read 50 pages of Heated Rivalry, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to jump back in. I'll keep you updated. Sorry for the long-winded update. I just have a lot to say about this book, and I'm having a lot of thoughts and feelings and trying to connect the dots. And even though I know it's already gonna happen, being able to, I've already read Manacled, to go back and see and be like, oh, this is where this connects. I'm really liking that experience. So I've started another book. I've started Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'm only 57 pages in. So far, it's going pretty good. From what I can gather right now, it's about Joan, who is a female astronaut, and she's currently in training to be in NASA. I think it's set in the 50s. It's set in the 80s. She's in training to be an astronaut. So there's the past chapters, which is her in training, and then the present chapters, which is one of the first chapters in the book. We see this huge NASA accident. We're like switching between the past and the present chapters, seeing how it led up to here. And it says that this is the love story. And I think I know who the love story is between. We'll see. I'm pretty sure I know. And it's a little bit different for TJR. But so far I'm really liking it. The audiobook is really nice to listen to along with the physical book. Like the immersive reading, I've been really loving immersive reading. Also, this is the first book that I've read that I've been in France for. This video has been filmed over like such a long period of time. Anyways, so far I'm really liking it. There's a lot of characters and I'm not sure that they're all specifically very important. So like in the beginning, I've been having a teensy bit of trouble keeping track of all the characters, but I'm not sure if I specifically need to be. Some of them I think are not going to be super duper relevant to the rest of the book. But I'm going to read until I fall asleep tonight. It is, by the way, it is the 21st of March. And I'm hoping I can finish this in the next like few days, maybe try and get to page 100 tonight. That's not like super unattainable. I'm already halfway there. It feels very similar, writing style, obviously audio narration. It feels very similar to all the other TJRs I've ever read. I don't know, you can definitely see a specific style, writing style and like storytelling style in TJR's work, and it's really good. And I'm super excited to see if I like it and everything. So we're gonna keep reading tonight. I'll keep you updated as to if my thoughts, feelings change, or if I have any updates on that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm crying and it's page 81. Just a little update. This is Cruel and Evil. I have 15 pages left. So let's kind of go through the books that I read, the books that I didn't read, what kind of went down in this video, because spoiler alert, I kind of failed a little bit. We're going to start with the first book I actually read in this video, which I talked pretty in depth about, so we're not going to really go over it that much again, but that is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I ended up rating this one a 3.5 stars. Like I said, we're going to go through thoughts, ratings, and everything of all these books. All of my feelings really stand on that one. And then the second book I read in this video was The Compound by Aisling Roll, or Aisling Roll. I don't really know how you say it still. My feelings again stand on this one. I rated it a 2.5, so it was okay, but it just wasn't one of my favorites. Wasn't really memorable. Didn't really feel like, yes, that was a really good one. And then I read Alchemized, which is probably my favorite book that I read in this video. If you can't tell by my tabs, yeah, absolutely insane how many tabs I have in this freaking book. Let me try and show you. Literally so many. This book was so good. I really enjoyed Sin Lin Yu's writing. I feel like it has been upgraded from the original content, and I think that if you haven't read Manacled before, unless you're super interested in that, just go ahead and skip to Alchemized. I think that it has like upgraded the story, but if you get really attached to Manacled, you're not gonna like Alchemized as much. And then if you have a copy of Manacled, you could read that if you like really adore this story and want to see the original. But I would honestly just say go with this. I liked Manacled better, but I think because I read Manacled first, I don't think Manacled was better. I think Alchemized was better. I think because I read Manacled first, I had a stronger emotional attachment to it, and then therefore I was judging Alchemized based on Manacled. So I think that you should do it in the reverse order. I think that you should read Alchemized, and then if you have a copy of Manacled and really have enjoyed Alchemized, go back and read Manacled. You probably already have a strong connection to those characters from the Harry Potter universe. I would recommend doing it in the reverse order, but Sen's writing was so good. I rated Alchemized a 4.5 stars. I really would love to get it signed one day because it's not signed. It literally weighs like 10 pounds.
bones though. Then I took a pretty long break in between Alchemized and Atmosphere, but this is the next book I read, which was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I ended up rating this one a 4.5 as well. Those two are probably the standouts of this video. If you're going to take any of those book recommendations, I would say Alchemized and Atmosphere. I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is just like one of the authors of the decade. Like, she is just a great writer and a great storyteller in a way that makes you so connected to her characters. These characters like actually stuck with me, and if you don't remember, a few minutes ago in this video I bawled my eyes out on camera. So if that tells you anything, yeah, I did cry. I feel like I didn't say a lot about my thoughts, but I absolutely binged this one. I really liked this story. Like, it is right, it is a love story, and I think it's a love story that's really needed at this time. It has such good found family, friendships, love, and then also paired with the difficulties of life and just living and how it's hard sometimes. I don't even really have many words, to be honest, clearly, because I'm not saying much. But like, the words I am saying are read this book. That's what you should take away from this. Read this book. I would definitely recommend. And then the next and final book that I read for this video is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I ended up rating this one 3 stars. I really was loving it for like the first 100 to 150 pages, probably even 200 pages. Then it started to kind of go a little bit downhill for me. And I think it was because I was racing against the clock. I was trying to finish this in a day, and I did finish it in a day, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I rated it 3 stars. That's a good rating for me. The ending kind of went a little downhill for me, and I think it's because I was devouring this book. Now, I wasn't rushing through it like I wasn't enjoying it, or I was like, oh, I just want to get this over with. I was rushing through it because, 1, I had a timer. 2, I was absolutely eating it up. Like, it was such a good book. But I think because I have this problem a lot when I rush through a book because I'm loving it, because I'm devouring it, I have a hard time with the memory aspect. Like, I don't remember it as well when I don't savor a book. And so when I went back to rate this about a month later, rate and review it, I didn't remember a lot. And then I was like, dang, I remember really loving this book, but I don't remember why or what was going on. Like, I just remember the feeling of loving it. All that to say, this book is on my reread list, and I will definitely be rereading it this fall because I think that would be a great idea for the fall time season, and I'm really excited about it. But again, this is a great book. I also would say read this book. Like, this is totally, I recommend this. This is a problem with my reading experience, not with the book. Like, absolutely, it was amazing. Didn't read it in the best way for me, and that kind of is shown in the rating a little bit. I want to give it another chance, and I think upon a reread it would be a 4 or a 4.5 stars. So I actually ended up reading 5 books in this video. There were 2 books that I didn't get to. And the reason that I am not reading these books in this video is because I've been filming this for about 7 months now. It's June 22nd. I ordered all these books like after Christmas, right after Christmas, and it's now June 22nd. And I'm no longer motivated. I want to read these other 2 books, but I don't want to read them right now. And I have other TBRs and other things to do. Like, I will read these and I know that I'm going to like them, but it's just not happening in this video, and I'm sorry. If you want to watch last year's video where I did the same thing, I read the best books of 2024, I'll pop that up on the screen right here. Unfortunately, I'm not getting to my friends in this video. I'm also not getting to Not Quite Dead yet, but they will be gotten to by the end of this year, probably by the end of the summer. So if you'd like to know my thoughts on those, subscribe. Stick around. My Fable is down in the description if you'd like to see any of my specific reviews for any of these books. It was a fun time anyways, and I actually got some really good books out of this. 2 4.5 star books. Amazing. Check out the message to the book besties in the description, a little secret message for you guys. As always, if you finish this video, leave the star emoji with the little points, or just any star emoji. Any star emoji, actually, in honor of all the 4.5 stars that I got in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you like this video, if I should do it next year as well. And I'll see you in the next video next Sunday or Wednesday. Bye.